So family, happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you rested well on last night. Hope your weekend went well. And even if it didn't go so well, you made it to Monday. It's okay not to have great days. We're going to have them both. You know, they're really great days, kind of great days, good days. Then there are kind of bad days, really horrible days, and worse days. We meet somewhere in the middle. We meet somewhere in the middle. Okay, it is October 10th, 1010. I think if you looked at my video on final endings, I talked about the number 10. All right, and anytime you see that number doubled, it kind of accents the message that Holy Spirit is trying to send to you. All right, so we have those final endings and we're moving into that new direction, a new era, okay, and a new direction. It's not just a new beginning, it's a new era in a new direction. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And it's time for us to flow in integrity. All right, thank you, Holy Spirit. It is good to be honest with others, but you can't be honest with others until you've been honest with yourself. Okay. Okay. I remember when I went through a divorce at 24. Okay. So I had a 6-month-old and a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old. He was 3.5 at the time. And I was going through a divorce. No one gets married to go through a divorce. So I was going through one very young. I had no sight of what divorce should have looked like. I did have family members that had gone through a divorce, but I didn't really, at that time, I wasn't paying attention because I'm not trying to learn lessons from it. But I was indeed going through it. And after that, during that time, I went through a depression. And I just wore a mask. I acted like everything was all right. Somebody would ask me, how you doing? They knew, I was separated at the time from my son's father. And they would say, how you doing? I said, oh, I'm doing good, doing great, moving on. You know how we do. Lying. I was not okay. I was not okay. And I was fearful to say that I wasn't okay because in the time that I grew up in and the environments that I was in, okay, religious environments, I was flowing heavily in ministry at the time and very active, but no one talked about therapy. It was like a stigma. And no one said they weren't okay. Everybody just acted like they were good. And I knew people that weren't good, that were going through horrible times. And it is refreshing to see that even in this time, even though mental health can still be a stigma, people are opening up to it a little bit more than they were back then, 20-some years ago, when I was going through my depression. And one thing that I covered very early on with my therapist, and even now, I have had in my life, my adult life, 3 therapists that served me very well. And I keep my therapist. I know her email by heart. I know her phone number by heart because, honey, sometimes I have to catch her on speed dial, baby. Every time I go through a transition in life, I set up an appointment. I don't have to see her often, but every time something transitions, so that I can kind of walk through what I'm feeling at the time. It is my way of being integral with myself. I'm telling myself the truth about how I'm feeling. Okay. And so family, in this time, you're going to need to be honest with yourself. As you're moving into new connections, new opportunities, this isn't the time to act like you're feeling good about something if you're not feeling good about it. For instance, if you meet someone, you connect with someone, and it doesn't give you a good feeling, something is happening that doesn't give you the warm fuzzies. Be honest about that. Don't act as if you're good and just keep going and thinking, oh, it's going to work itself out. No, This is how we ended up in toxic relationships before, ignoring red flags and not being honest about how you feel. Because you can see something and not say that you see it. I've been in that situation many times when I would see something with my spiritual eye, even though the person was presenting something totally different than what I saw. I wouldn't even question it. I knew it was a red flag. I wouldn't question it for fear of how that person would respond to it and respond to me and treat me. We're not in that time anymore. This is a time to flow in integrity. So however you feel about a situation, thank you, Holy Spirit. However you're feeling within yourself, if you're not okay, be honest about it. Be truthful. And what's going to happen, thank you, Holy Spirit, is when you start being totally and brutally honest with yourself, you're drawing to yourself people that'll be totally and brutally honest with you. All right? It is literally, it's going to turn in your favor. You're going to pull into your life those people that flow in that same level of integrity and in truth. So family, it is time to flow in integrity and to truly be honest with yourself. And I'll see you on the next download. Toodles.